And this part is really steep. Climbing 500 feet in just under half a mile. It looks very steep. Yeah, I don't think the video is conveying how steep this trail is.
I wasn't supposed to tackle something this steep until much later in my series. But here I am on hike number 2, staring up at a half-mile climb that rivals the steepest sections of Mount Baldy. 500 feet straight up on loose rocks, and I'm about to find out if I'm actually ready for this. Hi everyone, welcome back. I'm Linda. I make videos about self-transformation through hiking and time in nature. This year, I'm documenting my Couch to Peaks hiking reset, 12 hikes spread across the year, starting easier and gradually getting harder as I rebuilt my fitness, confidence, and consistency on the trail. And this is hike number 2, Ray Miller Trail and Overlook Trail Loop in Point Mugu State Park. I got a bit of a late start today, but the weather is perfect. 72 degrees, sunny with a slight sea breeze coming off the ocean. This is exactly the kind of day you want for a hike with constant ocean views. The trailhead is right off Pacific Coast Highway in Point Mugu State Park. There's an $8 day parking fee, and the lot had plenty of space when I arrived. You can also park on the side of Pacific Coast Highway for free. There are porta potties here too. Here's what you need to know about this trail. The Ray Miller Backbone and Overlook Trail Loop is 7.2 miles with just over 1,500 feet of elevation gain, taking about 3.5 to 4 hours to complete. This is one of those trails that gives you the best of the Santa Monica Mountains, ocean views, rolling green hills, and a good workout without being overly technical. The Ray Miller Trail is actually the western terminus of the 67-mile Backbone Trail. So if you're into long-distance hiking, this could be your starting or ending point for that epic journey. This loop works like this. You start on the Ray Miller Trail, which climbs gradually for about 2.7 miles and 1,000 feet of elevation gain to meet the Overlook Fire Road. Then you descend along the Overlook for about 2 miles through these beautiful rolling hills, losing 500 feet of elevation in the process. The last section of the loop is a very steep climb back up, about half a mile with 500 feet of elevation gain. I recommend doing this hike in the clockwise direction. This trail is popular, and I saw a lot of hikers today. On a hike like this, you won't get much solitude unless you start very early. Instead, I ended up chatting with a few fellow hikers, and those conversations kind of became the highlight of my hike. About 2 miles in, I met this older couple who had stopped to admire the ocean view. The ladies stopped me because they thought I was carrying an axe.
I was like, what? I was holding my tripod with my camera with my phone attached to the head. And from a distance, she thought I was carrying an axe. Which is kind of funny because if I thought someone was carrying an axe walking towards me, the first thing I would do is probably run the other way. I wouldn't stop to make a conversation. So that was kind of funny. It shows that at least in some parts of the country, we still live in a pretty high trust society. Anyways, they were really friendly, and we spoke for a little bit about the trails, including some of the trails that are still closed due to the fires in the Palisades last year. But the parts that are open, such as today's trail, is just breathtakingly beautiful. So I've hiked about 2.5 miles coming up from this direction, and that's the Ray Miller Trail. And right now, I think this is the Overlook Trail, and I'm going to make a loop out of it, going uphill from here, and then it goes down into Sycamore Canyon, which is down below. and making a loop towards the ocean and coming up on the steep use trail, which I think is this one. And then I will be back at this junction and I will take the Ray Miller Trail downhill back to the parking lot.
The climb up Ray Miller Trail is steady but manageable. You're constantly rewarded with expanding ocean views as you gain elevation. My foot was holding up really well on this hike. The hard-packed dirt trail felt so much better than the rocky terrain from my previous hike on Sandstone Peak. Once I reached the Overlook Fire Road, there's a viewpoint where you can see layers of mountains stacked behind each other. And to the northeast, you can spot Santa Monica Mountain's highest peaks, including Boney Mountain and Sandstone Peaks. It's cool to see where I was 3 weeks ago from this vantage point. At the picnic table facing Sycamore Canyon, I met another older couple. They looked like seasoned hikers, so I asked them about the use trail I needed to take to complete the loop. The lady wasn't convinced it connected to the way I thought it did, which gave me pause. But I had checked the map before and decided I still wanted to try. The Overlook Fire Road is wide and gradually descends through these beautiful green rolling hills. This part of the hike is peaceful and quiet, just me, the hills, and the occasional hiker and mountain biker passing by.
I'm at about 800 feet of elevation. I think at around 350 feet of elevation is when I should look for this use trail that would take me back to Ray Miller Trail.
A little while later, I saw the second couple again near a junction, and it actually helped me narrow things down, pointing out which side trails definitely weren't the one I was looking for. And then I found it, the steep use trail.
So that was the junction of Overlook Trail, and I took the scenic trail, which can loop back to the Sycamore Canyon. I thought maybe going up that use trail is where I needed to go, but I think that's just a one-way trail out and back. So instead, this is where I need to turn around and climb up right here to get back to Ray Miller Trail.
This is where the hike gets real. Half a mile, 500 feet up, loose rocks everywhere. This part of the trail felt as steep as the steepest part of the trail I've encountered on Mount Baldy in the past.
But so far, I'm feeling pretty strong, and my foot is pain-free today. So that's a good sign. Oh wow, look at that view. And this is the trail I need to climb.
I started climbing, huffing and puffing my way up this relentless slope.
Yeah, I don't think the video is conveying how steep this trail is. Okay, I'm gonna put my phone down and climb this section. Probably require some hands involvement to do this part. Oh my goodness, that was so steep. I couldn't film anything at all. I needed both hands for balance. It was very steep with a lot of loose rocks, so very slippery. It would be much harder to descend on this trail than climbing up. I passed by someone who was descending on that trail, and he was basically stop and go, and yeah, it looked very difficult.
After a short break, I made my way down Ray Miller Trail and back to my car. So that's it for episode 2 of my 2026 hiking transformation series. My foot is getting stronger, my confidence is building, and I'm ready for hike number 3. If you're interested in hiking Ray Miller Trail yourself, I'll put all the details in the description below. And if you hike this trail or have a favorite spot in Point Mugu State Park, drop a comment. I'd love to hear about it. See you on the next trail.